So has any of you actually read that book, Spare by Prince Harry? Remember? I don't like this guy, but in his book, since he disclosed so much about his family, he also gives you a peek into the way of living of the super rich elite nobility, at least the European ones. He tells you about the habits that they have. And that is very important information. And I read the book, and I distilled these habits for you. So I'll read them to you. The super rich, these aristocrats, they like to spend a lot of time outdoors. They spend at least an hour a day, every day, walking around nature, sucking in, fresh air. They visit forests as often as they can. They live nomadically. They travel a lot, and of course, they spend a lot of time living in different places. Now, I understand you need to be rich in order to be able to do that. But it also works the other way around. Once you start living in multiple places, you gain the skill in dealing with different people in different situations. And that is a form of power without which these nobility people would not stay nobility. Live prepared. Bring a map for your orientation. Now, it can be a literal map to find your way through a forest, but it can also be like if you want to join the high society, then get a book on etiquette and read it. That book would be your map telling you how to navigate such, you know, distinct social circles, right? Every day, take good care of your physical and mental health. You know those low class people who dress like slobs? They never upgrade themselves. They're like pets. Like they just stay that way, unlike a child that can grow and develop. If you're not growing and developing by grooming yourself and taking care of yourself, then what are you? You're a slacker, but you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for someone to tell you to improve yourself? Only you can do that to yourself, right? Plan ahead to make sure that you have plenty of reserves, right? So don't rush into things. Clean yourself with clean natural water, freshly filtered from the natural soil. So these people know about something that they're not telling us publicly, right? The water from your tap may not be that clean. It may have some pollution. Now, these people, they tend to clean themselves with fresh water that is filtered through soil. So the water that comes down a mountain slope, for example, right? You need to have more than one place you can go to for absolute total rest. I guess, again, if you're poor, you can't afford your getaways, right? But then again, once you start building up getaways, or you can rent a cabin, I suppose, once in a while, all right? So do that. Make sure you get your time out from regular life. Spend a week over here, and then a week over there, and a week over there, getting the rest that you really need and deserve, right? Parents and children don't need to stay together all the time. You can also live and travel a little bit apart from one another. Now, of course, there's a downside to it. If you have rich parents and they're always traveling and you never see them, that may be a problem. But to develop the sort of confidence that you as a child, say a 10-year-old, you can spend a week without your parents and you shouldn't be crying about it. You should just feel confident and happy about it, right? So that you very early on learn to be more independent, right? Oh, and I understand the downside of cultivating independence in children by making them believe that they're already adults or something, right? That's not what I mean. I mean, a 10-year-old should be able to be without his parents for a week without crying every night. That's my point. The press and the paparazzi are like hyenas. So therefore, be a lion. Enjoy the countryside and what's to do there, the recreation. I just mentioned they like to spend a lot of time outdoors, right? So these people, the super rich, they don't like to be in places like London where they park our common people, where the plebs have to work and live. They leave those places and they seek out nature where there's health, right? Know your classical literature. Read your ancient Greek and your ancient Latin texts, right? And remind yourself and others of the wisdom you find in those books. Articulate well and speak with the right proper accent. To give you an example, I know some really top pop producers they're black people. They're really good at their job. They're millionaires. They're self-made millionaires. But when they speak like some low-class bum. You know what I'm saying? Damn this shit, damn. Like if you use damn fucking shit in every sentence, you're low class because of you. You're doing it to yourself. You're the reason why people don't like you. You can't just say shit fucking damn in every sentence if you want to move up in the social circles. Yeah? You got to drop that, right? Change your accent. Hunt and kill prey. They go hunting. The super rich, they get to hunt. They hunt for deer, for example, or they go on fox hunts. But the act of hunting is an extremely spiritual experience, right? If you've never hunted and you go on your first hunt and you get your first kill, everybody describes that as having this massive rush through your body, like this intense spiritual connection to your kill as well, right? There's a reason why you do that, right? Because hunting and killing used to be part of the daily life of all human beings. And the fact that we're not doing this anymore is, of course, harming us in a very negative way. But we're not aware of the harm because we think this is how it's supposed to be, right? But the super rich, they know that you should be hunting and killing your prey. Undergo your initiation rites. Do not avoid them. In the West also, we abolished initiation rites. Like teenagers, boys and girls, used to undergo some kind of rite, a ritual, to become adults. Say when you're a 15-year-old boy, you're supposed to be guided by the elders away from your mom towards some place where you've never been before. You will be given clothes, the clothes of your ancestors, for example. And you are going to go through some rituals that you have to pass. You have to do some difficult things, like you have to survive on your own without food for a week, for example. And then, of course, under the guidance of these elders, you graduate from your childhood and you become a member of the tribe. You are no longer property of your mom, but now you are one of the tribe, one of the guys, right? We don't do that in the West anymore, and that's very, very damaging, very harmful. You have to live a deeply religious life. Find God, again, in nature. That's where it is. Culling the herd is a form of religious cleansing. You see, the super rich, they wage wars, remember? They direct their peoples to wage wars against another. They don't consider that a bad thing at all. They consider it a culling of the herd. And they think that is a normal and natural form of religious cleansing, a process that all people must from time to time go through, right? Love your people and your fatherland, right? The super rich, they do care about things. They do care. Journalists are no good. Never trust a journalist. Never complain, never explain. Now, Harry was complaining a lot in his book, so he did it wrong, but never complain and never explain. Meaning never complain about whatever and never explain your actions or why you're not talking to somebody anymore. Don't explain it to them, right? If somebody is bad to you and you quit talking to them, don't explain to them why. Let them keep guessing or just forget about it, Quit watching TV. The super rich, the super elite, they do not watch TV as we ordinary citizens do. I quit watching TV 20 years ago, and that may have been one of the reasons why I embarked on this very radical intellectual path, why I speak to you about so many things, from different angles, because I do my own thinking, right? I don't watch TV. And do not consume the ordinary news. Instead, read books. Learn to ride horses. Do horse riding and get good at it. Now, I've ridden a horse long ago, but you don't have to be original or rich to be powerful, right? You don't have to be original to be rich or powerful, but you have to be adroit. It's a French word, adroit. Social adroitness means you are really good at dealing with people. Meaning you can have humor when it's fitting. You can also be angry when you need to be, but you are an expert in dealing with other people. Social adroitness. Right? You can things like shame and feeling ashamed and so on. They fade with the time. So if you made a blooper, you did a baddie, you did a bad thing, and the whole media pumps it up, blows it up to make you feel ashamed of yourself, that will blow over. Don't worry about it. So don't worry about the things you did wrong. or at least not for too long. Right? Let it blow over. Again, be as lions toward the media. The media, and I would say also the justice system and so on, they're not your friend and never will be. The police is not your friend. The media is not your friend, right? Just judges are not your friend, right? Be as lions, right? Media are an enemy in one's own country. Media are the enemy in one's own country. Yeah, Harry writes about this in his book, right? A sabotaging force that undermines everything. So consider the media an enemy within the gates, right? Within your own country. Accept hierarchy as a normal part of human life and demand your rank in that hierarchy. So if you feel you need to be way up top, go and command it. Don't beg for it, but go and command that you are one of the, and that requires you to do all the other things that I mentioned before. First, you got to acquire your skills, of course, right? But if you feel you need to be on top, then put yourself there, right? Accept that hierarchy is normal, meaning the super rich, the super elites, they do not believe in equality because they're princes and you're not. They don't believe in equality, right? You cannot defeat the media. So the media is a big enemy in your own country, but you can't defeat them. You can strategically use and abuse them in those moments where it counts. So you can, for example, pay your own journalists to slip in some news into the mainstream and then exploit it that way, right? And you have to forge alliances. You can't go at it alone. You want to be in power, stay powerful, you got to forge alliances. So you see, this book, Spare by Harry, Prince Harry. Like I said, I don't like the guy. I didn't like the book, but I did like getting some access to the habits that these super rich have formed in order to be rich and stay rich, or basically what I care about is be powerful and stay powerful. So I hope maybe some of you can make some good use of my list. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, the Christmas week is coming up. That means I'm going to go offline for about 7 days or so. So I'll see you all in the next year, in the new year. Bye-bye.